Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
That's clear.
Which one's Matt?
I'm Matt here in the
We've made contact.
Excellent.
Good.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Excellent.
It's a real honor to meet you again.
So, we are recording. This is our lunch break show. My name is Matt, and I am joined by my co-presenters. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah. Hello, this is Michael Need. Hello again, Australia.
Hi, Michael. Hello, Australia.
Yeah, James, I met you once.
Are you somewhere else? You're not in Australia.
No, we're broadcasting to
no,
Australia.
it's just that. No, I am Australian. It's just my accent that's different.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. Yep. Okay.
So we've got
sure.
Michael, we've got James. Who else have we got with us today?
Finn, right?
We got Dougie here.
That was Finn and Dougie and Megan.
Hello.
And Amy
Hi.
here.
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Amy here. Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Excellent.
Hi, Amy.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you here, Peter Coombe. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor and a
We're
privilege.
very excited you're on here right now.
And we've got
good.
some
Oh, it's nice to be here.
excellent. Well, we've got some questions we'd like to ask you if you're up for it.
Yep. Carry
Brilliant.
on. I'm always happy to answer questions.
Brilliant. All right. Well, I think Michael, did you want to start us off with the question?
Yep.
Yes. Well, it's just that nowadays this thing called the internet. It's really good to see that your classic songs are becoming are still remembered, especially in this day and age of the internet. Especially that you even got your own YouTube channel. And how does it feel that you've actually that your videos are being well entertaining the new generation of young audiences?
Well, lovely. It's wonderful. I think that the nature of children's music, is that if it's any good at all, it does tend to get passed down to a new generation. So the fact that some of my songs, the best known songs now, are like 32, 33 years old.
Wow.
Newspaper Mama, Coffee Apple, Chopsticks, Watch Your Face and Orange Juice. They're quite old songs, but it doesn't matter to a child. I mean, to a 5-year-old child, they don't care whether the song was written yesterday or 40 years ago. It makes no difference to them whatsoever, which is rather nice. So they're timeless.
Cool. Very interesting.
That's amazing.
All right. Let's pass it on to Megan. Megan, do you have a question that you want to ask?
How are you going with COVID-19?
How am I going? Oh, it's very strange. It's difficult, but it's difficult for all musicians because musicians can't do concerts. We can do things. We can do Zoom meetings, but we can't actually do concerts. So, but I have done a few things.
I know, that's all.
A thing called a couch choir, the Spangle Road Couch Choir, which was on about 3 weeks ago. And I've done a brand new version of Newspaper Mama. Newspaper Mama meets COVID-19.
Oh, really?
We've just done a lullaby time, where I sang a whole lot of lullabies each night at 5:30. There'll be a lullaby come on, and we did some poems as well. Each night a story or a poem would come on.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to do some more of those next week as well. So I've been busy, but I have to say I miss performing to audiences because I had a great big tour lined up to go to Perth, Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, Hobart this year.
The whole shebang.
Who knows? It may still happen, but it may not. So I'm not sure yet. So I'm missing performing. Yes.
When was that?
Yeah.
So that tour was for the end of the year?
Yes, it was going to start. It was actually the first show was going to be in Brisbane on May the 23rd. Of course, that's been and gone. That was not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the next 6 shows will be Melbourne, September the 19th, Sydney, 29th of September, Adelaide, October 10th, Canberra, October 17th, Perth, November 7th, and Hobart, November the 14th.
Yeah,
and it remains to be seen whether those particular concerts will happen or not. It just depends what happens with the virus over the next month or so.
So it's a bit of a wait and see at this point.
Bit of a wait and see, yeah. Wait and see, fingers crossed.
Excellent. Fingers crossed. For our listeners at
Fingers
home,
crossed,
we're all
yeah.
crossing our fingers right now.
Yeah, fingers and toes crossed. Yes.
Hey, Amy, did you want to ask a question?
Yep, I would love to. Just want to tell you, Peter, that I absolutely love you very much. You actually, when I was really little, I listened to you all the time.
That's
And
good.
I remember, yes, I listened. I loved your music when I was young, and I still love it now.
We all do now.
We all do now. My question is, have you ever made anyone cry who's been your fan?
Yes, I have actually.
And
I have made people cry, and that's kind of lovely in a way. If they're crying because they're a bit sad because of a song, I have a song on my Christmas album. It's called Love and Joy, and if you don't know that album, well, you won't know the song. But if you do know it,
I do know that. I do know that album. Yes.
Oh, okay, well that's we did a great big tour on that album in 2018. We toured the whole country, every capital city, and that song "Love and Joy." Someone, one of the people on the radio station, told me it always made his dad cry, and I thought that was lovely because it is a kind of a sad stroke uplifting song. It's a bit of both, really.
Yeah. I think the special thing about your music is it doesn't matter what kind of music you play, it still has a place in all of our hearts forever. When we were growing up, I think that's very special.
Yeah, well, that's really lovely because I always think that music should be a bit like that. It shouldn't matter that much how old you are, even though it's called children's music. For me, I mean, a good song is a good song, whether it's a song for a child or a song for an adult. And sometimes you get these songs where you're not quite sure whether they're for children or adults, and I think they're kind of interesting songs. And I quite like writing that sort of song where you're not quite sure, is this for a kind of a child, is this for an adult? Maybe it's somewhere in between.
Great.
Wow. I think that's very special about your songwriting, indeed, how you just make up a song and the people love it, they laugh or they cry. It's just amazing how music is written like.
Yeah. Well, songwriting is a very precise thing to do. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of writing and rewriting and getting it right. I guess the worst thing you can be as a songwriter is to be happy with something that's not quite your best. So for me, I don't record anything unless I'm really happy with the song. I think it's the best I can possibly do. And very occasionally I write a song that doesn't quite get there. I think this song is not going to quite make it, so I just let me leave it. And occasionally I might come back to it and have another go at it. But sometimes songs just don't get there. But most of them do.
Yeah.
95% of my songs I start writing do end up being songs that I record. But occasionally a song doesn't quite get there.
Wow.
Hey, Dougie, I saw your hand up before. Did you have a question come to you?
Yeah, Peter Coombe, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I saw you recently down in the city. Remember that?
Down where?
In the city?
Sydney?
Yeah. And I think you sang for something, and I saw you. I thought, oh my God, Peter Coombe. What I want to ask him is, do you still have that song in the pageant in the float, on the Muddy Goose float?
So I didn't quite get that. Just say it again.
I'll say it again. In the Christmas pageant, right?
Christmas pageant, yeah.
You have that song, the Muddy Goose song, "Merry Christmas to Everyone." Do you still have that?
You mean Happy Christmas to you and to
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. And I thought, is that going to be in the pageant this year or not?
I don't know. That they don't ask me. It suddenly appeared in the pageant a couple of years ago, so I presume it's probably been in the pageant since. But I don't know. I missed the pageant last year, so I'm not sure whether it was there or not. But it probably was. But I'm not sure.
So,
So that's a Peter Killian. Who do you pick?
so they just started playing the song, and you didn't even realize.
No. No, but what I want to ask you is, good job at the Christmas concert that day in the city.
Again, I didn't quite catch that about Song on the City. Say it again.
No, I said when you sang that, when you were performing in the city, everyone liked you performing and cheered for you.
Yeah, you mean at the concert I did in the city? You mean?
Yeah.
I
was there.
Oh, at the Dunstan Playhouse.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
I thought that was very, very good.
Oh, good. That was
It was a fundraiser, and I thought, oh my God, he hasn't lost his talent at all.
Well, hopefully I can still do it.
Still got it.
How's your daughter going?
And what?
How's your daughter going?
Ah, which one?
The one who sings. What is her name?
Oh, you've got 3.
I have 3 daughters. I have an older one, and the middle one, and then the younger one. And they're all going
Are they
okay.
musicians as well?
The middle one.
Sorry?
The middle one.
And the middle one's Alice. She's going well.
Alice, how's she going?
She's going very well. Yeah, she's going well.
You guys have actually you have a musical family. It sounds like.
I do. I'm very lucky. All my children are musical.
Oh my God!
All right, let's throw the question on to James. So James hasn't had a chance to ask a question yet. James, what was one of your questions?
Well, first, Peter, do you remember this party from Charlie Chapman's?
Yes, I do remember that. Actually, was that at a bowling club?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That would have been about maybe perhaps 3 or 4 years ago, was it?
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years ago now.
So that was.
I do remember that. If I'm thinking of the same party, I definitely remember it. Yes, it was in Adelaide, wasn't it?
Yeah. So for our listeners at home, James is currently holding up a video clip to the camera, which is showing Peter Coombe performing. I think I can see Amy dancing next to Peter, and this was
dancing. I was having such a fun time. It was just so lovely.
And this was for one of our Tutti artists' 30th birthday, Charlie.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes.
I do remember that quite clearly.
Yeah.
Out of the choir.
Yeah, cool. So James, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
Well, Peter, what was your history before you came famous?
Yeah.
You have some other job in school or something?
Oh yeah. Jobs before you were a musician?
Yeah. Jobs before I was a musician. Yes, I was a school teacher for about I started teaching in this is what makes me sound very old. I started teaching in 1969.
Wow.
And then I went taught in Adelaide for 5 years, and then I went to Sydney and I taught there for about a year and a half, and then I went to London and I did a television show in London called Music Time. I didn't do any teaching in London. I did a TV show, lots of concerts and performances, and then when I came back to Australia, I taught for another about 2.5 years, and then I finally left teaching. And in 1983, I started performing as a professional children's singer-songwriter. So I've been doing that for the last about 8 years.
Cool. And were you teaching music?
Yes, a lot of the time. I started off as a general primary school teacher, and then in 1974, I started teaching music full-time. Yeah. And from then on, I always taught music full-time.
Yeah, interesting. Because primary school teachers need to know a lot of music, don't they? I guess, often they don't have music teachers specifically for schools, and the teachers themselves need to know a bit about music education.
They do. It's kind of one of those subjects where a lot of teachers are very reluctant to do music teaching. If you're not musical yourself, it is a bit hard to teach. A bit like me trying to teach art. I'm not very good at art. I don't draw. I don't draw very well at all. So I wouldn't be much good as an art teacher. So I spent the same, I suppose, if you're a classroom teacher and you don't feel very musical, and you don't feel very confident, it is quite hard to do it. But yeah, because not all schools have music specialists. No.
Hey Finn, you had a question that you wanted to ask Peter. What was one of yours?
What's your favourite milkshake?
Milkshake.
Yeah.
I reckon. Oh, just a hard one. I like all milkshakes. I love a banana milkshake,
Ooh,
but I love a chocolate one too. But I'll probably say banana.
banana. What about chocolate banana?
One, Matt Orange.
Yeah, Dougie, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I've got another one for Peter. Peter Coon. Is that right?
Yep. What's your question, Dougie?
Peter. So, when you were a kids teacher, was there any doubt that the kids would listen to you?
No, the kids listen to me. They paid attention because I tried to make all my lessons entertaining. Yeah. And I'm lucky enough that I can sing and play guitar, so that was half the battle is being able to do that. So
yeah,
when you're a music teacher, you become a half entertainer anyway. Especially to do it. If you can play and sing, you can't resist doing it. You like doing it.
Doing it is one thing. Trying to get the kids to listen to you is another thing, isn't it?
That's right. Well, the trick is the children is to engage them, to actually give them things to do.
I agree with you.
Not just them sit and listen, and they actually do things.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, Michael, did you have another question you wanted to ask Peter?
Oh yes, yeah. I most certainly do. Is that I myself would like to be a bit of an entertainer for audiences, particularly children, and perhaps one entertainer enthusiast to another. What is actually the key of writing a feel-good children's song?
Oh, lots of things. First of all, I think and this may seem really obvious, you need to like children. You need to enjoy the company of children. You need to understand their sense of humour. I think you need to be able to know the skill of writing a good melody, of writing interesting words, the ability to write funny songs. Kids love funny songs, but you don't have to always be funny. You don't have to always be loud and up tempo. You can be quite gentle sometimes as well. So it's having a whole lot of skills really to write. Ability to write melody, the ability to write good lyrics. And as I said, understanding children's sense of humour is a big thing too. What makes children laugh?
And what kind of things do make children laugh?
Yeah.
Well, they love funny voices.
If I start talking like that, they find that very
Yeah, I had a feeling there would be a moment you would actually speak with that kind of voice.
Oh yeah, I can.
Well, sometimes I can even talk like that.
Hey, it even makes adults laugh.
Sometimes I can even hey man, talk like this. Kids love silly voices. Kids also love silly sayings. Like I've got a song called "Where's your bag, Dad? Your bag? You left your bag, Dad, in Baghdad." That's a kind of slightly not nonsensical, but it's just sort of a play on words. And kids love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kids love echo songs. So songs like "Newspaper Mama" and "Watch Your Face" are both small songs, and kids always love them because they can pick up the songs so quickly.
Yeah, interesting. Good question, Michael. Megan, did you want to jump in there with another question?
What was it?
You were going to maybe ask about how long he's been performing?
Oh, how long have you been performing?
Yeah, a long time. I've been a professional children's songwriter since 1983. So that's about 37, 38 years now. But I was I was a singer before. I was a singer before that. I also sing adult songs as well. I don't just sing children's songs. That's what people know me much best for, singing children's songs. I do sing adult songs as well.
Yeah.
And I have made a couple of adult albums. But so I first started singing when I was about 17 in a folk group. A folk group called the Union Four. It was called
the Union Four.
That's when I learned to play the guitar. And then I really haven't stopped singing since. But I only really started making a living out of singing properly in 1983. Even though I was in London doing a television show, that was only kind of a half an income. It wasn't a full income. But when I came back to Australia and started working as a full-time children's singer-songwriter, that's when I started, it became a full-time job.
What was the TV show in London?
It was called Music Time.
Okay.
It was a children's educational music program that was played on BBC One television for about 6 years actually. And then the ABC bought the program as well, so it got shown on ABC TV as well during the late 1980s. That was kind of my big break, really, getting that TV show.
To buy the DVDs. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you bought the DVDs, James?
I should buy your DVDs.
You can see about 25 seconds of music time on my DVD. I've got a DVD called the. I'll show you. Look right. It'll make more sense.
Yeah, all right.
Oh wow!
Should we do some hold music? Hold music. Do 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 do. Hold music.
Hold music.
Waiting.
So here's the DVD. You can see it there. That's all my DVDs, and if you go to the very end of it, there's a bit called Extra Features, and that's when I actually talk about what I've done in London and everywhere else, and also you can see a little about 20 seconds of my Music Time program in London on it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I got a copy of one right here.
Mike needs holding his up.
Good God, you're too fast for me.
What's the name of that DVD?
It's just called Peter Koo The Complete DVD Collection.
Yeah, cool. So
and you can get it online.
Yeah,
and it's everything I've ever done on DVD.
Well,
okay. I have done a few things since then. But,
you got Netflix to have it on Netflix.
Ooh, Netflix.
So say that again about Netflix.
Did you try asking Netflix? Did you try asking Netflix?
I haven't been on Netflix. It'd be fun to be on Netflix. I haven't done Netflix, no.
All right, we might pass it on to Amy. So, Amy, do you have another question?
Yes, I do. Sorry for all the interruptions with my cat, my dog, Mum's phone. I'm sorry about all that.
That's all good. Nature of Zoom.
Yeah. Peter, my question is, have you ever considered doing any concerts or any performances with people with disabilities, and would you consider it?
I'd consider it. I haven't done any formal concerts with people with disabilities. I did do that one you showed at the bowling club. That was a concert, I guess, for kids with disabilities. But I'd consider it. Yes, I don't think. I've done concerts, say, with an autistic school in Sydney. I did one last year. That wasn't a concert with autistic kids; it was a concert for autistic kids. But yeah, I consider it. Yeah, I remain open-minded.
Excellent.
Which is really special because some performers just don't understand what disability is and won't go there, won't go to those things. And I think for me, being a singer-songwriter myself and being a performer myself, I think it's good for musicians to keep open-minded about what possibilities they have.
Yes, that's true. You need to keep open-minded. Yeah, about possibilities. I agree.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing is, I was there when you did a performance. it wasn't at St. Peter's. It was with one of my carers, and there were a lot of people with disabilities in your audiences.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice of you to be able to meet and greet people. And how does it feel for you when you meet and greet people, your fans? How do you feel about that?
Oh, good. It's lovely. I'm very I'm always very grateful that I have people who like what I do. I mean, this is my life's work, so it's what I've been doing for the last 38 years. So yeah, I'm very grateful when people appreciate what I do, and it gives me a good feeling.
Great.
Very good.
Matt, I've got another one to throw to Peter Kane as well.
We'll just make sure that everyone's got equal question time, but we will come back to you, Dougie. I think, James, you wanted to ask a question about big screen.
This is my cat, Dexter. Say hi,
Dexter.
What kind of cat is he or she?
Burmese.
Burmese. Oh, they're lovely. I've got two little granddaughters in Queensland. I've got 2 Burmese, and they're gorgeous. Oh, they're very easy to manage, aren't they?
We were listening to your song "Cats" just before.
We were playing cats.
I have a song about cats.
Yeah, we heard it.
Yes.
So, James, did you have a question?
So my last one. You think having your last big screen movie on the big screen?
Have I had one on the big screen?
So you're going to plan a last big screen movie?
Yeah. I'm not planning it. I mean, if someone else wants to do it, that'd be great. I'd love to, film a concert which could be shown on the big screen. But at the moment, I can't do any live concerts at all. I can only do Zoom.
It could be a doco about you.
Yes. What?
It could be a doco about you, about your life history.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of guys who are living in America who were trying to get a doco up, but I haven't heard them for a while, so I don't think it happened. But there were a couple of guys who were trying to actually get a doco up for television. But I haven't heard from them for probably about 9 months, or about a year now, so I don't know what happened to that.
We were discussing before if you were in a film, whether it would be like an action or a romantic comedy or a horror. Like, what genre of music what genre of film do you reckon you'd like to feature in?
Well, I like rom-coms.
Rom-coms, yeah.
I'll give you an idea. Some of my favourite films are things like Love Actually, Notting Hill, Forward for a Funeral. I've loved all those, but I have serious films I like too. My very favourite film of all time is a film called Shadowlands, which is about a very sad story of a lady who actually a very famous man called C.S. Lewis, who fell in love with a lady called Joy, and she got cancer, which sounds like it's my very famous film. It's called Shadowlands, and the main star was an actor called Anthony Hopkins, who's very famous.
Oh, yeah.
It's a brilliant film. It's my very favourite film.
Yeah, cool. Oh, thanks for sharing. Hey, Finn, you had a question about Peter's favourite things. Do you remember what it was?
What's it called? I'm trying to figure out what it was now.
You were talking about favourite albums?
Well, yeah. What's your favourite album?
Of mine or someone else's?
Yours or someone else's?
My own personal favourite of my own albums is probably my first Christmas album. It's called Peter Kern Christmas Album. That's the one I did a big tour. I did a big tour of Australia, performing all those songs at the end of 2018. Probably my favourite album of other people's. It's a really, really hard question to answer. I love the Beatles album Abbey Road. I love that album. That's pretty close to my favourite. There's another album by a group called Peter, Paul and Mary. You probably don't know. They were very, very, very famous back in the 60s and 70s. They made an album simply called Album, and I love that. So I'm a Garfunkel fan. Bridge Over Troubled Water. So there's 3.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Can you just make sure that's close because we've been in there?
All right, Dougie, I think you had another question that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, continue with the albums, Peter Coombe. I wanted to know what was your favourite song on your album?
On my albums?
Because I personally like the Christmas album. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I personally like Merry Christmas to you, you know?
Yeah. Christmas album is one of my favourite albums of my own.
Yeah.
Probably favourite songs on that album I like, there's a song called Fear Not For I. There's Love and Joy, there's Rejoice, Rejoice. Song called Christmas Child I like. And on Newspaper Mama album, there's a song called All Good Things that I really enjoy singing. So
I always reminded my mum about Newspaper Mum, and I said, Mum, you need to get a newspaper. She goes, what?
Yeah.
I said, Peter Coombe says yes. Because that song.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do some final
Famous
questions.
song for you.
We'll do some final questions, everyone. So, does anybody have any final questions that they want to ask?
Yeah, I've got to go soon. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we'll get a final question from Amy and Megan, and then we'll finish it up. So, Amy, what question did you want to ask?
So my other question is, how do you think this pandemic will change your performing and your life? And when it ends, do you think you'll be able to perform more?
I hope so. Yes. The pandemic, of course, has had an enormous impact on all performers. I mean, people can't perform in theatres to audiences or outdoors or anything. That's just beginning to sort of show signs of changing fairly soon, but it'll be very slow. It's hard to know how it'll affect people, say, 12 months down the track. I like to think it will return to normal because people love going out and hearing concerts. For me, I mean, I will continue performing for as long as I can do it. I mean, if I get to the point where my voice is no good anymore, or people don't want to come and hear me, or I stop liking it, I'll stop doing it. But so far, none of those three things have happened. I still love it, and I still can sing well, I think, and people still come to the concert.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Love you, Peter.
All right, we're just going to take one more question from Megan, and then we'll finish up. So, Megan, what was your question?
Have you ever write a book about yourself to children?
I didn't quite catch it. If it might say it again. Say it again.
Have you ever made a book on children's book?
A children's book?
A children's book?
Yeah.
Yes, I have actually. I have done a children's book. In fact, it just happened to be sitting right in my desk, just coincidentally. I wrote a book a long time ago. It's called the Dreaded Chopsticks Curse. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I never read it.
Funny stories. I'll read you one poem from it. Okay.
Oh, we would love that.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
It's a poem called "Very Strange Cat," and this is from this particular book, and it goes like this. It goes, a cat came to stay just the other day. I already had one, but I thought, well, it might be fun to have two in the house. Make life hard for the mouse. So, as from now, there'll be a second meow every morning at 7. Oh, let them in, will you, Kevin? I say, you're an awfully good chap, said the brand new cat. Could you see your way clear to fetch some milk over here? My throat's rather dry and, well, not to be shy. So, what do you think? Any chance of a drink? I found him a glass, extra fast. He licked and slurped, swallowed, then burped, then said with a wave, must be off. Got to see Dave. He never came back. And that was very strange.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Peter. It's been an
Bye.
absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Before you go, there is
Oh
something.
Before you go, Peter,
Yeah.
why do you sing just one little last song before you hang
On
up?
to the last song.
Yes.
Only if
Hang
you
on.
can, if you've got to go.
Hang on, I'll get my guitar. Hang on.
Ah,
Oh,
that's a treat.
God.
You twisted his arms, James, but I'm glad.
No, boys. Twisted his
An
arms.
autograph.
oh, fan.
Oh, you've got his autograph there, Michael.
I certainly do. This is the
Oh,
second time I
wow.
actually see him in person.
That comes
I'll
in
sing
handy.
a little bit of the song. A little bit of the
All
song,
right.
okay?
Come in handy.
Do you reckon if I sing Newspaper Mummy, you could sing the echoes?
I
Yeah.
reckon.
Yeah.
What's black?
Sing that.
You go. What's black?
What's
And
black?
what's
I
white?
like play your song.
White.
Yeah, I reckon despite the Zoom delay, we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Okay. Well, I can sing another one without an echo if you like, if you'd
Oh, no, I
rather.
reckon the echo will work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Echo song. What's black?
What's
Black.
black? What's white? Red all over. Every day. Every day.
Over the fence.
Over the fence.
In garden.
Into the garden.
Every day.
Every day.
Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, especially on Sunday, best day of all. What's black? What's all over?
Hello.
Every
day.
Now what do you get? Now
Yeah. What do we get
door when you
when you open the door?
every morning of every day of every day. Newspaper man, newspaper man, every day. Newspaper man, every day.
Hey. There you go. There's something I might want to show you, Mr. Coombe. I know you probably may not recognize me, but this is the second time I actually saw you in person.
Yeah.
And I got the proof right here is that in this VHS tape, cover of the VHS tape, Lil Groover, you actually wrote an autograph on it right here.
Okay. Yes. I can see that.
Excellent.
I can just see it. Yes.
So for our listeners at home, Michael's holding up probably, I imagine, quite an old cassette tape.
Peter Coombe's Lil Groover.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a video. VHS video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I remember it well.
Excellent. Well, we better let you go, but thanks again, Peter, for
I've got to
joining.
go. I've got to go to some dinner.
right.
Enjoy your dinner, but
Thank
thanks
you.
again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter. Love your work.
Brilliant.
Thank
See
you.
you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Master.
You've been listening to Radio Tootie.
That's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. See you next time.
See ya.
See you next time on TD Radio.
What? I'm going to hit